All right, everyone, welcome back to Impossible Versus Matches, the show where we take all sorts of different characters from pop culture and put them against each other. We're not talking about who would win, we're just talking about how they're fighting. And each of us, we have three people on the show. Myself, we also have Preston, my good friend. Say hello, Preston.
Hey, how we doing, y'all?
And we have first time on the show, my good friend Dylan. Dylan, say hello.
Buenos dias, mi amigos.
All right, so the three of us are here. Each of us has a randomizer of 50 characters that we have chosen ourselves. And how it's going to work with three people is that when it's my turn, they will both spin the wheel and give me a character. And basically, the people who are not doing the scenario will be spinning their wheels. If you don't know the rules already, you should know them by now. Easy as that. So,
Watch the other videos, you nerds.
yeah, watch the other ones. Why not? Because these videos are for you, everyone. All three of you that are watching, plus the one person that shows up to dislike the video the moment it drops. I don't know who you are, but I've got an idea.
We love you nonetheless, or hate you.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for coming out. You've been great.
You are a view count. Just know that. But anyway, I'm gonna start with the scenarios. So you guys spin the wheels, and I'm gonna throw one last curveball into this episode. I am banning anime characters from this episode.
Well, there goes like a quarter of the list.
I can still make do.
It'll work. So just if you get an anime character, just re-roll, but they'll be allowed in the next episode.
Sounds good.
All right, Preston, who do you got? First spin.
All right, let's see here. Oh, shoot. All right, well, you banned anime characters, so I can't do this. I otherwise got Major from Ghost in the Shell. So here we go. Oh, all right. This one's pretty solid. We got Wally.
Wally, okay. As in the Pixar robot?
Yes, see.
Oh, perfect. Okay, Dylan, who do you got?
I put this in just as a joke. I cannot believe out of the 50 of them, like this is the first one, but it's Frank Reynolds with prep.
Frank Reynolds?
With prep, specifically with prep. He's prepped for this encounter with Wally.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the second time an Always Sunny character has shown up on the show. The first one being D. Reynolds versus Edward Cullen. So, okay, Wally versus Frank. Okay, I think this one just writes itself. Now, we're allowed to bend the rules, but Frank is the trash man. He throws trash all over the ring. Now we all know how Wally starts out. So in the early stages of the Earth trash apocalypse, there's a few survivors, and those survivors, among them, happen to be the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because obviously they're not model citizens whatsoever. So they're not allowed on, the big Ark ship that holds all of humanity, as you see in Wally. They're left behind, and even if they were allowed on, they probably slept through it or something. So they're left there, and things are going okay for Frank and Charlie, not so okay for the other three. As in typical Always Sunny fashion, they're trying to do their own schemes. There's a few, other human survivors, not very many, but they're trying to get supplies in their own selfish way, but they're not caring about what's important. Dennis is just caring about getting the babes, and D just cares about whatever D cares about. And it doesn't work out very well for them, but Charlie and Frank are thriving because this is the land of trash. This is what they this is what they were born to do. So Charlie sends they both split up to go and like scavenge for supplies, and Frank finds Wally. You know, they both see like an item of trash that they want. Frank wants it for survival purposes, and Wally sees it because he wants to add to his like collection that he has of human stuff. So like they're both going after it, and they have like a little tug of war with this trash item. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it matters. It's probably just a trash can for all I care. It doesn't matter. It's Wally versus Frank, and so they're doing a tug of war, and Frank like takes out his toe knife and tries to stab at Wally, gives him a bit of a zap, and basically that's how things go. Like they're now a feral Frank Reynolds, feral DeVito, if you would, is now like scuttling around trying to fight Wally, and Wally doesn't recognize Frank as a person, so Wally is trying to like put him in his little like compactor body, and it's not exactly working because Frank's a bit of a round guy.
Square peg, round hole kind of scenario.
Exactly. And
it's not like when he cuts through the couch naked.
Yeah, like he doesn't quite fit into Wally because Wally's a little bit smaller than a couch. He is still naked in this scenario, of course.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
And why wouldn't he be?
I need to be reborn.
And you know what? The trash they're fighting over, you know what it is? It is like a solidified, like crusted over with like dirt and stuff. So it's a fossilized rum ham. That's what it is. And
we are rum ham.
And he's like, it should have been you. And he like stabs Wally with his toe knife, and then just a scrap ensues. It's not like epic or anything. It's the equivalent of looking away and slapping each other type thing, except they're just on the ground like rolling around, because like Wally is somewhat strong being a robot, and Frank is a person that's like twice Wally's size, so it's pretty even, and no one really wins in the end.
The rum ham just gets destroyed in the process. They both look at each other, shrug, and walk off like nothing happened.
Yeah, that's probably it. Or Charlie comes in to intervene and be like, Frank, what the hell are you doing?
Just imagine Frank just butt naked, like just grappling with. It's like he's trying to take the rum hand, man. We can't let that happen.
Perfect. And that's Wally versus Frank Reynolds.
Ding ding.
Dude, nice.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
Brought that one together real well.
So I guess we can move right on to the next one. Preston, it is your turn. So Dylan, go ahead and spin your wheel for Preston.
All right, spinning. Let's see what we get. From one extreme to the other. So my one was Cthulhu.
Oh.
Cthulhu, huh?
Just Frank Reynolds straight to Cthulhu. No in between.
Hey, these are good choices. I like them.
Ooh, I got the only anime character on my list, so that would have been very interesting, but we're going to move right on, and it is the exact same person, the second role. So let me try it. So we are dealing with, stop giving me the same person.
Wait.
You've got this rigged, Joe. What's going on?
Okay. All right, so it's Cthulhu versus Universal Studios version of the Frankenstein monster.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Specifically, like the 30s, 40s one, the Karloff.
Okay, all right. This is an interesting matchup.
Are you familiar with that one's particular lore?
No, not particularly.
Okay, well, just real quick, it's the usual like Frankenstein story where he takes a bunch of it's a bunch of body parts and he puts them all together. Um, that Frankenstein hates fire. In the sequel, learns that fire is good. Electricity makes him stronger, but he's already like super strong as it is, being able to like snap necks and like break backs and stuff and bust through walls if he needs to. So he's pretty strong, and lightning makes him stronger. Is basically the thing.
Okay, so he's basically infamous second son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
And he's probably about like close to 7 feet tall at least.
Jesus. Okay.
and then
Well,
the tail of the tape for Cthulhu is like it's like 300, and he's not weak to anything.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, how am I going to play this one out?
When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Jesus, yeah. I mean, they're both supposed to be like legends, so maybe they'll bond about that. All right, so, all right, how am I going to do this? Okay, all right. So we've got. Wait, this is Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster?
This is Frankenstein's monster.
Okay. So we got Frankenstein's monster, right? He's. This is like, I don't know how that particular movie ends, but I can only assume it's with the town going into like riot mode and trying to come after him with angry mob.
Yeah. Now that's how the first movie ends, with them like going after Frankenstein and the monster.
Okay.
Frankenstein, the scientist, supposedly dies, but they bring him back in the sequel. Same with the monster, but they also bring him back in the sequel. The original Frankenstein monster has like about maybe like 7 movies in his series, actually.
Fantastic.
So he just keeps coming back. He's very hard to actually kill. He's been burned. He's been sort of drowned. He's been frozen. And like has had like operations done to him and stuff.
Okay, all right. I think I know where I'm going to take this then.
All right.
We've got Frankenstein's monster making it away from this angry mob, trailing off from the end of his first movie. We're altering it a bit. We're saying that Frankenstein himself, Dr. Frankenstein, ended up getting caught up in the mob, and Frankenstein's like, "No, Frankenstein, you need to go, my monster. You need to leave." And he dips out. He just starts walking, right? And I mean, I feel like a fool because I don't know where it is that Frankenstein takes place, but just like how, what's his name? Todoroki wandered into Far, Far Away in a previous episode.
Yes.
We're just going to say that Frankenstein's monster just ends up walking far enough away to where he gets to wherever the fucking town is that Cthulhu and his lore lies, which I have no idea.
I think it's Innsmouth, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Where?
So, yeah. Wait, what was it?
Innsmouth. It's in Massachusetts.
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got Frankenstein just walks across the border there over into Massachusetts.
It's Simpsons rules. He goes across the border from Germany to Massachusetts.
Yes. Just straight up fucking walks through the oceans, because he's dead already, but he's alive and dead. So he just embarks on a journey. And so he gets to Massachusetts there, and he comes across a weary villager. This weary villager is looking all in shambles and disheveled, and he's saying, watch where you go around here. There's the one who catch you at night. And Frankenstein's monster is like, well, I just escaped from an angry mob of people who came at me at night. So if there's just one angry dude, like, I think I got him. And he makes his way further into the land in which Cthulhu resides. We're going to say that he ends up, like, Cthulhu's like a fucking octopus monster, right?
Yeah, he resides in the ocean.
Okay, so he resides in the ocean. I was about to just put him in a fucking swamp.
It's just like middle of a bayou. All of a sudden, just like 300-foot tall Cthulhu just comes out of a single puddle. Hello.
Yeah, dude. No, not
like
this time. Not this time. So, all right. So we got Frankenstein's monster wandering into old town Boston area, right there along the shorelines, and as he's going to the shores, he's walking, he's admiring the beauty and the calmness of nobody looking at him weird, because he noticed that as he got further into the Massachusetts area that everybody had a little bit of a disfiguration to them. And,
tentacles here and there, it's fine.
Yeah, I just nothing against anybody in Massachusetts there, except for all of your driving.
Shots fired.
But yeah, so he's taking a stroll down there by the shore, and he starts seeing some bubbles come up in the water, and he's like, "What could this be?" And sure enough, it's the one that the villager was talking about. He rises up from the water and he says, "You are new to this land. What are you doing near my waters?" And he says, "Oh, I meant nothing by it. I was just out here admiring your waters." And he goes, "This is my lake. This is my ocean."
I like that you
Cthulhu.
decide on an accent.
Well, I switched him up to Old Greg. And he hit him with the, "What are you doing in my waters?" And he asks him like if he's ever drank Bailey's from a boot, and Frankenstein's monster has no idea what this is, and Cthulhu gets very upset, and he's like, "My boy Old Greg won't like this. You're gonna have to answer to me." And Frankenstein's monster was like, no, I will just leave. And he goes to leave, and then that's when Cthulhu uses one of his tentacles and grabs Frankenstein's monster and does one of those horror pulls from the shoreline into the body of water. And Frankenstein, since he's just a bunch of parts, he doesn't know how to swim, but he can't like die either, because he just walked through the whole ocean from Germany to Boston.
Yeah.
And he kind of more or less just like is getting pulled under the water, and Cthulhu thinks like, oh, he's done for, and he ends up like just leaving him alone, thinking that like he drowned, and Frankenstein ends up walking out of the water later and being like, "Oh, geez, man, I should probably just get the hell out of Boston." And,
a logical response.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. It's the new song for the Dropkick Murphys, "Shipping Out from Boston."
I was really digging the idea of Cthulhu having like a Boston accent.
He's like, "Where are you from?" And Frankenstein's monster having a German accent, like, "I'm from the other lands, the motherlands." It's not Russian, but...
Oh, we don't take kindly to you over here.
Yeah.
Don't take kindly to you Germans over here.
And, like, Frankenstein's monster defeats him by playing a recording of Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. That's for all my Bostoners out there.
Hell yeah, but...
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you.
That's fun. I look forward to drawing that one specifically.
It's less of a fight, more just like Frankenstein's monster just indifferently go, "Hey, I just want to leave." Like, if you meet that one homeless man's like, "The end is nigh." It's like, "I just want to leave," and like he keeps pulling on your coat. That's basically this entire encounter.
Yeah.
The end is nigh.
Bad.
It's a very accurate example.
Boston bad. That's pretty good. I like that one. I like this episode so far. All right. So now it is Dylan's turn. So Preston, go right ahead and spin the wheel for our friend Dylan.
All right, you got it, my man. And look at the draw here. All right, I don't know if this character's already been used. I don't think so. Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh has been used. He went up against Captain America in episode 2.
What have I missed?
Shit.
It's
That's right. That's right. That's right. I remember that now. All right. Shit.
That's okay. Go ahead and respin. I've got my character, but I want to hear yours first.
I believe this is what this character's name is. Stripe, the evil bad gremlin from Gremlins 1.
Oh, Lord,
Okay.
Here we go.
It is Stripe. Yes, I look forward to that because he's going up against Jim Evers. Dylan, are you familiar with Jim Evers?
I don't. Give me a Cliff Notes version of Jim Evers.
Jim Evers is Eddie Murphy's character in the Haunted Mansion.
I can see this happening too. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right.
Evers from the Haunted Mansion versus Stripe from the Gremlins.
You know what? This works out perfectly. Just because every single live action like Disney movie somehow their like protagonist is a real estate agent for some reason. No reason whatsoever. So we're going to say this takes place after the Haunted Mansion. So he's a little bit more seasoned. Jim Evers is a little bit more seasoned. He's not as quick to flinch at weird stuff. And we'll say, for the sake of it, he wanders into the town that the Gremlins take place in. And the house that the movie or the original characters from the Gremlins, they basically like, all right, we want to sell our house. We don't want to be here anymore. Yada yada yada. And they all believe like Stripe was dead. Like there's no way Stripe's alive, even though he popped out of the was it the fountain at the end of it, right? I believe.
Yeah, he melted.
Yeah, he melted.
Yeah.
But we're gonna say that he didn't, just for the sake of it. Like when everybody's back was turned, like a skeleton crawled out and he somehow regenerated or something. We'll get into that later.
I mean, I'm sure he comes back in Gremlins too, so it's not far fetched.
Yeah, I'd be like, he could be reincarnated. So yeah, he comes back reincarnated as Mohawk. And so it's like, yeah, I'll just say for the sake of it, like he gets reincarnated, but he decides to keep his old name Stripe. So Jim Evers goes into this house. It's a little disheveled, a little ransacked, and he's, be like, all right, we're gonna have to get this repaired, and he hears this come from somewhere in the house, and of course, him just coming out of the Haunted Mansion, he's like, all right, that's weird, but not the weirdest thing I've seen today, and begins going through the house trying to figure out where this cackling is coming from, and it takes him the majority of the day, and we'll say for the sake of it, he brought his lunch, and he forgets to eat it. It gets dark. Eventually, it's like, yeah, you know what? Whatever this noise is, I'll deal with it tomorrow. Leaves his lunch there, leaves, and then Stripe's like, oh, look, food, and it's after midnight. Or it's whatever the time is. I think it's either 10 o'clock or midnight. It's been a bit. It's been half a second since I've watched Gremlins. But Stripe eats it, turns into, the gremlin version of Stripe, and starts slowly reproducing the way gremlins do. I believe they pop out of their back, I believe, correct?
Yeah, they kind of start popping out of their skin.
Yeah, so we'll say he starts doing that and starts like sharing pieces of sandwich with his new gremlin babies, and they become gremlins. Next day, Jim Evers comes back, and the place is just a mess, and there are these strange, tiny, demonic gremlins running around cackling.
I can't sell a place like this.
Like, oh, hell no. So it becomes he's not scared of them because of what he's gone through with the Haunted Mansion, like seeing literal dead people and ghosts. So it's more or less like an actual like horror comedy like the Gremlins, but it's more like he's just trying to like figure out how to beat them, like just like stupid slapstick comedy, like them like flying on ceiling fans, jumping off, attacking him, just smacks him in the face with a frying pan or something. He's just like it's more or less like he's having a fun time, and the Gremlins don't understand how he was so prepared for this.
Tell me though that the first thing that he tries is he gives Stripe like an Evers business card, and he's like, "I'm hoping you find your home for Evers and Evers."
Yeah, we'll go with that where it's like he just sees the opportunity of like so many of these like probably like close to hundreds of these little guys inside this house. Like, if I can't sell this house to humans, I sell to gremlins. And he tries his best, and of course Stripe doesn't understand basic English or anything. Gremlin, and me Stripe, and watching horrible borderline porno movies, and cross-dressing, as gremlins do, and eventually. Evers realizes that, all right, there is literally no hope to try and sell this house to them, so let's clean up. And then just comedy gold ensues.
That's pretty solid. That's a really good first one for you.
It just starts off with him like coming up, the mailbox just swings open, it's Gremlin going, ha ha! It's like, do you want to live here for evers and evers? And the Gremlin's like, ever, and just takes the card and he slams the mailbox on the Gremlin and goes,
Tell me this ends with him actually closing a deal, and you got like the Gremlin signing the paperwork, like signing the.
I will say that like he's like trying his best to try and befriend them after realizing nothing could kill these little monsters. And then, like, Stripe accidentally falls into, like, what he's trying to cook. Let's just say it's pasta or something. It's like there's boiling water. Stripe falls in. He closes it without Stripe knowing Stripe's in there. So, like, the dictatorial gremlin is gone. The other gremlin's like, what do we do? He's like, well, that's unfortunate. But since all of you have independent thought now, you want to buy this home? I know you want to buy this home. And then he closes out a deal with the remaining gremlins as Stripe slowly boils alive inside of a pot of boiling water.
Oh my god. Yo, that was a pretty solid Eddie Murphy impression right there. I just want to say.
That did actually come through the mic as sounding a lot like Eddie Murphy.
I don't know how. I've never done Eddie Murphy's voice. I just imagine, all right, pretend you're doing Mushu's voice, and then it just went from there.
I mean, there you go. But, I feel like that fits in exactly with the vibe of that Haunted Mansion movie, but also at the same time Gremlins 2. So like it's stupid enough to exactly with the source material.
And it's great because like then it's like him closing the pot on Stripe while he's in there. It's just like the blissfully unawareness of Eddie Murphy's character Evers in the Haunted Mansion, not realizing why everyone's dead. So he's just like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll cook some stuff up for you. He just realizes until he closes the pot, he's like, well, that's unfortunate. And he just holds it there to make sure that Stripe doesn't get out.
It's the type of comedy that mixes both the best of Looney Tunes, but also the fall of Eddie Murphy's career. I love that. That's fantastic. These are some really good matchups that we got here. And all it took was banning anime characters. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that it just had become like a brawl when there's just anime characters?
Yeah, right.
So, I guess we'll head on over to the next one. That's going to be my scenario. So, Dylan, why don't you go ahead and spin the wheel for me?
Wheels a spinning, Sarge. What do we got?
Well, it could be anyone.
All right, here's a question. This character does have an anime adaptation, but it originally came from a video game. Do we count it or want me to respin?
Gaming character, it's fine.
All right. Trevor Belmont from Castlevania.
Trevor? Okay. Couldn't be Simon. All right, Trevor Belmont.
I mean, it's gotta be the one with the good games.
All right. This one's pretty hardcore. You got the Punisher.
Oh man. Shit. We got an actual fight, not just a meme dream team.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, okay. This is hard because they're not from the same time period whatsoever.
Hey, time travel does exist in Castlevania, though, so you can make it work.
You know what? It also happens in Marvel. But you know what? The Punisher, little known fact, if you guys didn't know, the Punisher has visited Riverdale. and interacted with the Archie characters, so anything is possible.
Anything's
Yes,
possible.
no, this is true. Anything is possible. As a
he was
Punisher fan, it is interesting to note that he has visited them.
well, okay, so I'm gonna go into a little bit of Marvel lore, I guess. So the Punisher has teamed up with Morpheus. Morpheus is a vampire, and he hears the legend of, or is it Morpheus or is it Orpheus? I messed
It's
up.
Morpheus.
No, Morbius. It's Morbius.
Morbius. Okay, whatever one that movie was that was supposed to come out this year or last year.
Yeah. Jared Leto's on the scene.
Yeah. And basically he hears the legend of Dracula, and the Punisher, being a tough guy, is like, well, I bet I could kick his ass. And he's like, well, why don't we see? So, through, Marvel comics, magic, science, bullshit, sends him back in time to the time and space that Castlevania takes place. And the Punisher gets a little bit overwhelmed because Castlevania is a notoriously hard game. So there's a lot of stuff flying at him, and it goes by Castlevania game rules where it is possible for him to lose his weapons. So he's got nothing, but then he hears someone like, "Oh, traveler." That's the voice that he has now. It's Trevor Belmont, and so basically, he's like, "Here, have one of these," and he whips a candlestick, and then another whip comes out. So now the Punisher and Trevor Belmont are actually working together, both with whips in hand, just whipping their way through the castle, and they finally make it to Dracula at the end of the castle and kick his ass. Like it's really really badass.
Poor Dracula, just like, Trevor. Who's he? That is just the Punisher that somehow made a makeshift.
The Punisher has saved one of his weapons because he knows that he can actually lose them. So the Punisher has Castlevania whip in one hand and machine gun in the other hand.
Yo,
I was about to say, I was hoping it was he's just makes a makeshift gun, so it just turns the crossbow gun from the bad Van Helsing movie.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is a feast for the eye spectacle to see a Belmont and the Punisher team up with whips and guns filled with silver bullets, because of course. Going against Dracula. Dracula does not stand a chance, and then so Dracula is defeated. The sun has risen, and Trevor's like, "Well done, my brother. We've defeated the evil." And he's like, "Well, I came here to kick the ass of the toughest person here, and it looks like there's one other person." So he immediately starts attacking Trevor Belmont, and they're both going at it with whips and holy weapons, but also guns and grenades and stuff. It's probably the most badass thing you can think of, but we can't show it here.
You don't want to know about it here.
Yeah, you don't want to know about it here, but it's really cool.
You don't want to know about it here.
We just set up the scenario, so whatever happens is up to you guys.
It's just called Two Brothers.
It's in your hands now.
But yeah, so basically after they beat Dracula, he's just it seems like he wasn't the toughest person here, and then starts fighting Trevor because he sees that Trevor is actually the toughest person in this timeline. So he starts fighting Trevor. Trevor starts fighting him, and then at some point, he gets pulled back into his time period. You can't do that. And that's
you can't kill the hero.
Yeah, and so basically, it's the coolest thing that you can possibly imagine happening. but I'm not even going to draw this one. So that's up to the audience's imagination.
Damn. Just gonna do that to him.
Gonna really screw over the audience there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too
I was about
rough.
to say because I have like almost like a when Tony Stark goes back to like the caveman period, so, like the smartest man before man or something. Where like he looks like he's the Punisher at first, but eventually just becomes so ragged, like with his body armor and whatnot, to fight the undead and supernatural, that he just basically starts wearing like a makeshift like Mad Maxian kind of cross for like Renaissance armored look kind of going on.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like whatever's left of his armor and weapons like just strapped to himself, and it's just like very Renaissance Rambo. There we go. I think that's the best way to describe it. Just Renaissance Rambo.
That's dope as hell. All right. So we've had some very funny ones and probably the most badass matchup that we're going to have. But we're going to switch gears because it's Preston's second round. And the only way that would have been more badass is if it was Simon Belmont.
True.
All right.
Well, I was thinking more like Trevor Belmont from like the TV show, but then you said anime. I'm like, I guess it counts. So I guess we have to go with the video games where Trevor has like no emotion, then he just.
I mean, he's a video game character first, so like anything matters. But we also said that Frankenstein would be like, "Hey, I just got to get out of Boston." So it's not like we're going for accuracy here.
only for Eddie Murphy's characters. We gotta go for like perfect accuracy. We can't have a single thing wrong with that.
So it's a chill show. If you're listening, go get yourself a beer and chill with us. Why not? But
that's it.
All right. So Dylan, go ahead and spin the wheel for Preston.
All right. Let's see what kind of shenanigans we get up to now. All right, so don't know if you. I know you played Dark Souls. I don't know if you beat Dark Souls 3, but it's one of my favorite bosses from it, and it's a Dark Eater Midir. It's a gigantic dragon that fights the abyss, and he shoots doom lasers like Shin Godzilla. So just imagine Shin Godzilla as a gigantic dragon, and you're good to go.
Word, I think I've probably seen this boss. I haven't played Dark Souls 3 in its entirety, nearly anywhere close to it. Barely scratched the surface. Picked up the controller from a friend. That's about it. But played the first one, so I got a good image.
Are you cool with that character, Preston, or do you need a reroll?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Who's yours?
Well, my character is my character. It's a duo. It's Brennan and Dale. That is Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly in Step Brothers.
Brennan. Oh my god.
Going dragon slaying.
All right. Yeah, they are.
All
right. No, we're cool with this, dude. Oh boy,
Dylan, what's your character's name again? Because I'm gonna have to look this up later.
Okay, so it's his name is like technically his full title's Dark Eater Midir, but it's just Midir, like Midir. He's a gigantic dragon corrupted by the abyss that used to serve the gods. Like there's not a whole lot to him. Like he's only my favorite boss because it's a legitimate dragon fight, and I'm like, you know what, that'd be badass to see who he fights against. I wasn't expecting the fucking Step Brothers to fight him. But
boy, this is not gonna be good for them. That's all
hey, you know what? If they worship the Lord of Sunlight, Gwyn, they just get lightning miracles and they win.
Please find a way for Brennan and Dale to win.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, all right.
You don't have.
Okay, here we go, guys. All right, all right. So, oh Jesus. So, the Step Brothers are, they're living at each other's house at this point. So it's just like what seems like nothing but another day for these guys. They're having a blast. They're having a ball. They're trying to figure out new stuff to do. They're like, they're playing tunes at one point, and then they are like playing video games, and then they're like, yo, what if we could bring the video games to life? And they're like, oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like summoning like a dragon demon? And you're like, yup. And so they're like, but how can we do this? we don't know anything about summoning demons or dragons. And they're like, well, that's okay. I've got this book. And John C. Reilly's character is like, I've had it for years. It's just a book that literally says like summoning demons for dummies. And and he's like, oh my God, this is perfect. Let's get to it. And they're like, all right, but before we summon this demon dragon, like, what are we going to be? Like, we got to be able to take this thing out, right? Because, like, it's a video game in real life, right? And they're like, yeah, okay, so I'm going to be a knight, of course, because I'm the most handsomest. And he's like, no. John C. Reilly character is like, no, you're not. I'm the most handsomest, obviously, so I should be the knight. And so they start, like, getting into a stupid brother battle about, like, who's going to be the knight and, like, calling each other like, no, you're gonna be the Joker, the Jester. You're gonna be goofballing it up and distract the dragon while I come in and I kill it. And they're just not having it. And during this time, John C. Reilly was holding the book, and so now they're grappling onto each other and they're starting to fight. And as they do that, the Summoning Demons for Dummies book opens up. Before this happens, they were getting kind of set up for the summoning. So there's already like a pentagram on the ground. They've got candles lit in the room. And basically, the book just opens up onto the page in which Midir is a demon that they can summon. And it just catches on fire. And as that happens, they both kind of like snap out of their tussle that they got going on because they're, grappled, tackle and grapple. And they realize that the book's on fire. And so they just all start making these weird noises, right? Like, oh my God, like fumbling around. And somewhere within all of that jargon is like the words they needed in order to be able to summon this dragon, Midir. And they do so. And it's not good for them because they weren't prepared. They were fighting over who was going to be the knight and who was not going to be the knight. So they are now faced with this dragon that they have no idea is possessed from the after now. And they basically try to call for their mom and dad, but during the summoning of this massive dragon, it took out like more than half the house. We'll say they were on the second level of their home, trying to summon this beast, and so therefore their parents were downstairs. And when the dragon was summoned, he just came straight from the earth, and just like they took out mom and dad. So they don't know what to do. That kind of pisses them off, though. They're like, "Oh man, mom and dad are dead. That makes me mad. Does that make you mad?" They're like, "Yeah, that makes me pissed off. What are we gonna do about this dragon?" He's like, "We're gonna have to kill him." He's like, "That's a good idea. Well, we don't know anything about dragons." And they're like, "Well, that doesn't matter because we know a thing or two about dinosaurs. And what is a dragon but just an oversized dinosaur?" And they're like, "You know what? It's a good idea. You're right. What are they? Nothing." And so they just stand still. And the dragon is confused. He doesn't know where they are. But it's primarily just because where they happen to be standing was just out of sight of the dragon. This dragon, I guess, I'm really going to be downplaying Midir here. So Midir's just not got the hyper dragon senses. And it can't smell them out. Doesn't know. You got to be able to see these guys to be able to like take them out. So they're just chilling inside the house, and I want to say that Will Ferrell's character says, "John, or what? Not John. I don't know what's his fucking name. Barry."
I think Brennan is John C. Reilly's character.
Brennan. It tells Brennan, go grab a knife or something from the kitchen, and and so he goes and grabs a knife from the kitchen.
Brennan is Brennan is Will Ferrell and Dale is John C. Reilly.
Okay, he tells Dale, go grab a knife. Dale goes grab a knife, brings it upstairs, and Brennan grabs a knife from Dale, tries stabbing the dragon in the stomach, and it does nothing. It doesn't even flinch. It has got no clue what the hell happened here. And so, basically, Dale is like, Brennan, the knife, the pokey stick's not working. What are we gonna do? And Brennan's like, there's only one thing we can do. We gotta take him out the same way he came, through the fire and the flames. And basically, they just like whip out Guitar Hero 3.
And tell me they take out the drum kit.
They just start playing Through the Fire and the Flames perfectly on expert, both of them in tandem. And it's kind of like a Scott Pilgrim moment where like they form what is yet to be a giant dinosaur, and the dinosaur then has like this essence battle with Midir, the demon dragon, and by the end of the song, right on the ending note, the essence dinosaur takes out Midir, and Brennan and Dale look at each other and go, did we just slay a dragon? I think so. Awesome. Did we just become even more best friends? Yup. And
high five.
That's pretty much it. But they're like, but mom and dad's still dead though, so we got to figure something out. And then boom, Step Brothers 4. It's gonna be coming.
Step Brothers 4.
That's. I feel like you've studied the movie Step Brothers, because I feel like that is exactly how that situation would play out. I feel like if they made a sequel to Step Brothers, it would be so incredibly like stupid that they would like have the CGI dragon in there and like actually just make it as ridiculous as possible.
Oh, definitely.
I honestly think the only change that they'd actually do in a Step Brothers sequel to yours is that they wouldn't actually summon a dragon. They would just like do mushrooms or something.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they're doing.
That would be way more practical. And I said Step Brothers 4, but that would have been Step Brothers 2, but set up for Step Brothers 3. Gotta clarify that.
Oh, I don't think it matters at this point.
Step Brothers 17, Midir's return.
I had to Google Midir while you were talking, and now I know what they're up against, and it's even funnier because that's a serious looking dragon.
Yeah.
That, like you said, it destroyed probably half the house. I think this thing is probably the size of like the whole block.
Oh, well, fantastic. Then it took out the whole block except for like that one half of the house that they're standing in.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I wanted to know what it looked like so I could just have a little bit of a visual. And now I'm seeing exactly what Brennan and Dale are up against.
That's amazing.
That was absolutely beautiful. This is a classic episode. I hate that this one has to end, but we have one more scenario from our friend Dylan here.
Oh no.
And that'll finish off the episode. So Preston, go ahead and spin your wheel.
Yeah, sounds good, my man. Shoot, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pull it back up, and it's doing that cool delay. All right, here we go. Whoa, for you, Dylan. Oh, yes. All right. Oh, wait. Oh. Is this considered an anime? I don't know. Well, maybe not. Starfire. You got Starfire.
No, that is not a Japanese animation. That is an American cartoon.
Awesome, dude.
So Starfire. Okay. Who do I got? We've got a character from classic cinema.
Uh-oh.
Michael Corleone.
What the all right.
Michael
Starfire
Corleone.
versus Michael Corleone.
Michael Corleone. That is the Godfather that takes over during Godfather Part 1. Sorry, those of you that are worried about Godfather spoilers. The initial Godfather dies.
Nani?
So this is the Pacino character.
Oh man.
William. Yeah.
So the upside is it's a simple scenario. The downside is that it almost plays out like exactly like a Teen Titans episode. So we're in New York, obviously. We'll say for the sake of this, like Starfire came to Earth way earlier than she was supposed to, and it's like it's the early 70s instead of like the early 2000s. It's just a little bit off, or time travel, something. And when she shows up, like the government's like, oh no, we need to figure out what this alien is. We need to figure out what's going on. And she very much is just bubbly personality, has no idea what anything is going on, and she sees somebody get roughed up by Al Pacino's character, Michael Corleone. One of his associates decides to stop it and is like named hero in New York. Well, the mob ain't going to be very happy about this because somebody's now messing with messing with all their dealings. So it's like, all right, cool. We're going to put a hit out on this weird alien chick. And every single time they do, it's like either the person is scared out of their minds and run because she could shoot lasers and fly in the early 70s, or she doesn't kill anyone. And that's like the part that like makes Michael Corleone so mad, is that every single time somebody fails him, it's like he either has to like be like, all right, I guess it's okay, or be like an actual mob leader and just be like, oh nope, yep, you failed me. You're gonna disappear now. You can go sleep with the fishes. But like it basically more or less takes this, like every single time we cut to like Michael Corleone like, trying to figure out a way of beating Starfire, it's like a serious mob move until he mentions Starfire. Then we cut to Starfire. It's like realistic until Starfire gets involved, and then just lasers and just like it's weird alien pets and whatnot. I don't know exactly how it would probably end, but I have a feeling that Michael Corleone would either hightail it to Italy to get away from this person, or like get a tank or something. I don't know. It would be a fight for the ages. That's for sure.
It still wouldn't work. Nothing he would do would work.
I know, it'd be great. It'd be like he would get so frustrated that like nothing would work. All the resources of the mob, his entire empire, would just come crashing down because some alien chick's like, I'm going to be a hero, and then just kicks the shit out of the entire mob until Michael Corleone just comes out with a Tommy gun and just like hopes for the best. The only thing I can imagine is like somehow he finds out a weakness of hers through his connections to the mob, maybe some government officials. But that's probably like the only way like the final battle would go between them, is like he finds out she has, I don't even know if Starfire has any weaknesses, but I'm going to assume that she probably does because superheroes usually do.
I don't know enough about Starfire to say anything about that. To be
I don't know.
I know her from the Teen Titans show, but I don't remember any like weakness or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know enough either.
So I think apparently like the only weakness they really have is like if they get too if they don't stay focused on their emotions, they could just like go on a killing spree. So if he just like makes her mad enough, she might just destroy all of like Manhattan.
Oh, it sounds like Dragon Ball Z now.
Yeah. All right, all we gotta do is we gotta make him mad enough to where she just destroys everything, and then the government takes care of it. But what the government comes in? What if she just destroys everything? Well, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Fantastic.
Have you seen the entire Godfather trilogy, Dylan?
No, I haven't watched the last one.
Well, now this may sound fun and action-packed, but the twist is that this entire scenario takes place with the amount of length and pacing as all of the Godfather movies put together.
Just so slow, just like real life drama, and
it's very slow, very calm and collected, and then something happens. But you know what? For the sake of this, I'm gonna say that Starfire is not bulletproof because she makes like force fields and stuff, right? Like green energy. So like I would say, as long as she's not paying attention, if you shoot Starfire enough, you'll win.
Eventually.
As long
But
as she's not paying attention. But just imagining Starfire going against the Corleone family from The Godfather.
Yeah, this Amazon from space just shows up and starts wrecking the Corleone family's entire business. But it's all, like you said, just in a very slow, drawn-out, Godfather-esque way, not like an action-packed DC
This
or
sounds
Marvel
like
movie.
one of the most epically long. Shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? Epically long,
Crossover?
noir style, like vengeance character ever. Like, this sounds like some setup for freaking DC universe storyline. Honestly,
It does. It
Starfire
really.
wakes up and she like feels something in her bed and she like throws the sheet off and it's Cyborg's like leg.
yeah.
It's Cyborg's head and he's like, "Booyah!"
Booyah! But the funny thing is that there was to be a character that would actually probably have worked for that storyline, the Shadow, who is owned by DC. But the fact that it's just like fun-loving, bubbly Starfire makes this so much better.
Going into the
Oh, yeah.
incredibly serious Godfather universe.
Exactly.
Francis Ford Coppola directs Teen Titans.
The Teen Titans versus the Godfather.
Francis Ford Coppola's Teen Titans. It's up there with it's up there with Martin Scorsese's Three Stooges. The absolute greatest.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, this has been an absolutely legendary episode, if I do say so myself.
This has been quite the blast for sure.
So thank you, Preston. Thank you, Dylan, for being on this episode of Impossible Versus Matches.
Oh, it has been an
a-
absolute pleasure.
Preston is a returning guest. If you'd like to find his stuff, you can find it in the link in the description. Dylan, do you have anything you want to plug or wish to share with anyone?
I have a YouTube channel that I never post on. Hooray! But you can follow me just simply in the links down in the doobly-doo, and you can watch my old badge short films, like the one I turned into South by Southwest. That wasn't good, and you can laugh at it there. But if I get enough people, then perhaps I'll make something. Who knows?
Well, we'll see. Is that an Instagram or something, Dylan?
Oh no, it's a
What am I
YouTube.
sharing?
Oh, it's check out my Instagram where I don't also post.
I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, Dylan.
Yes, it has all my old short films on it. A couple of them are good, most of them are bad. You know how it goes.
As it be. You'll have to send me the link for that because I don't think you've ever shared that with me.
Good. Good. I'm
All
glad
right.
I have it.
Well, that is the episode. Thank you for listening.